What it do, world? It's your man's in them five shot reporting on the Bamboos Again News Network with a little, I guess, Saturday comedy, right? And I'll just be analyzing the tomfoolery. So I caught a clip of what's the dude name? Kai Connect or whatever his name is. I guess he a streamer and just streams his life, whatever, right? So I caught a clip of him, Drewski, and Kevin Hart, right? I don't know what the context was, but they were all, having a pajama jammy jam. They was all dressed in pajamas, right? So Drewski and Kai was dancing to one of them female rapper songs, Head Top something. And the mood's kind of zesty, right? So then Kevin Hart like, nah, I dance like it. He do his little two-step number, right? Talking about this how a man dance, right? And I guess the son in the back like, you better dance like this, whatever, right? So I'm like, but this is odd, yo. This is again. I might just call this the absurdity of Babylonian reality. Cause mind he's saying this is how a man dance, right? But him and Kyle Connect got on the same matching pajamas. Grown men's having a pajama jammy jam, yo. And it's the same dude. Well, I've seen clips of him, tongue wrestling or lip lock with The Rock, and then that one scene in the movie with Shaq in it, where he pull him out the car and put him in the buck, yo. Man, these folk gone, bro. I don't even pay no mind, but they just, you can't really escape it. You can't escape this reality. You just gotta be strong enough through the process of the Most High to just deal with it, pay it no mind, see it for what it is, but not have it like overly affect. It's kind of, I have my days, but it's laughable at this point. But I guess they still have some semblance of influence due to, them being able to, promote them on various social media apparatus and platform of influencing whoever they can influence. It's so amazing to me, right? And I've been I've had my various spiritual awakenings all throughout life, right? But none of it never fully took hold. Like I had, I've dealt with certain things for a season and then just let it go. Some stuff I got to work on. Some stuff just fall off me. You know what I mean? But I'm just again noticing just how would I articulate it? Ultimately, I truly believe in totality here in this country, the populace, the mass populace, is past the point of no return, and we fall in love with lies, which then allows me to see the real world application of when the word says, I'm paraphrasing, because they're given over into sin, uh, I'll allow them to believe a lie. Now the lies seem true, even though there's no evidence of it. But when you tell the truth and present evidence, somehow it's dismissed or that's not what it is. I've gone through that in my personal life. Like I'll go to these various agencies, okay, you're saying this, so we need this type of documentation. I produce said documentation, and then they say, because of a technicality, it's not valid. But the documentation may have come from another agency that they're aligned with. You know what I'm saying? We're in this space where it seems like notorious wrongdoers get a slap on the wrist. But if you, subscribe to my or check out my videos or whatever, you do one thing wrong, it seems like the weapon form, and they trying to hammer you to the fullest extent of the law. I remember one time I was in probation officer, right? This is years ago. And me and my probation officer, black woman, I don't even know, like I was doing everything according to the court order. But maybe because she felt like she had some authority over me, she tried to get me to do stuff just because she was my probation officer. So I point out like, but that's not in the court order. And then I'm like, well, I'm not doing that, and you can't violate me on something that don't exist. And I wasn't saying it like super rah. I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. I really don't even want to do the stuff the judge said. You know what I mean? Like I talk to him regular like that, yo. So I come back the next time, right? And I used to have super duper issue with this woman. She was bad though, but I just wasn't on no being smitten or just, tap dance Willie Earl, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, right? So I'm sitting in we chopping up, and it's cool, right? I guess she was trying to rock me to sleep. So next thing I know, I see two federales coming to camp. Mr. Thomas, stand up. So I go ahead and get up. So I look back at her like, I don't know. So now I start thinking like, yo, did I do anything I forgot about her? Woo, woo. I tell her, I don't know what's going on. She said, I know. I said, would you like to tell me? She said, yeah, the court. Now she probably uh started the process, but she tell me the court issued a warrant for my arrest. I said, warrant? Warrant for what? She said, you owe court card. I said, how much that? It was like $49. I said, they issued a warrant for my arrest for $49. I already know you triggered that, right? That's how I look at the fella. Let's go, cuz. I'm ready. So mind you, I'm in the courthouse. So the commissioner's in the court. So they're walking me through the courthouse handcuffed, right? So they were like, well, you got $49, which I did. I said, no. I want to see if for $49, y'all gonna try and book me and do all that and then take me all the way down on that for $49 to then have another barrel and then get right back out. Yeah. I want to see if y'all do that, yeah. I'm just curious. So I got to the commissioner, they let me go, right? But just, it reminds me of that Spartacus scene where it's like, man, ain't no justice in this world. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes justice take years or karma or whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about how earlier on in my sobriety journey, which I, were slips and falls, right? But I came to this epiphany. I'm like, yo, like I'm legitimately trying, right? And ain't nothing shaking. I'm basically getting up in the morning to go out in the world and get disappointed when I see people who, let me tell it, haven't put in the work, aren't as genuine as I am, and they get stuff handed to them. Then you go through this the first phase of isolation, right? To a degree, even though you're around people, you just tell like I'm just nowhere. Like mentally, I'm nah, man. So I shucking job with them, but nah. And then I start thinking, I'm like, yo, let me tell it, I'm the realest Negroes ever met, yo. You know what I'm saying? I done did some of the most spectacular stuff they ever seen on earth, but my phone dry hell. Like I don't. Do I ever cross anybody's mind, yo? You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, Joe. Like, let me, like, based on my outward circumstance and support and all that, you'd have thought I was a dope fan, yo. I'm like, don't none of this make no sense. And then not only that, but let's say people who have gotten over on me or, ran some type of, whatever they try to do, right? It seemed like they was getting blessed for effing me over. I'm like, yo, they is notoriously wicked, yo. Like the New Breed situation. The only reason because I tried to help or offer assistance or show them the right way. Even though I might not have been always right. I've never been one, even if I'm doing wrong, I ain't gonna bamboozle you into doing it. I got bad conscience. It seemed like they're getting blessed for effing me over. They going on trips and I seen brothers get out of prison after 5 years and shoot past me. But as the journey continues, they all back in prison. You know what I'm saying? I guess slow and steady run the race. But at the time, I couldn't see it. And I'm kind of like this now, like, I'm striving. I'm struggling to get better in areas, you know what I'm saying? Work out an extra 15 minutes, read my word an extra 15 minutes more, or do that before I leave the house. I guess the path to greatness is built on small steps, right? And, everything copacetic, but it's this yearning and desire, because I feel like I'm great. And that ain't no ego, no none of that. I don't know nobody else on earth who like me. Granted, everybody's, unique in their own way. But I don't know nobody who believe the way. I don't know, like typically what separate me before I understood certain spiritual things, like, and kind of made me an accepted outsider to a degree. Because I don't see stuff the way everybody see it. Typically, I don't respond the way everybody else respond. That what you esteem ain't nothing to me. Or the things that I esteem or hold value to me or just, a drop in the bucket to someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't nothing to be proud of, but looking back on, and I ain't know no better at the time, I've been, like I said, a courthouse legend. If we're going on that joint, respectfully, of course, I ain't go super hard, but I will tell you the truth matter of factly. Shrug my shoulders, like, do what you do. I'm the type of, I will tell on I ain't never told on nobody, but I will tell on myself. Like they said, somebody else told me this, but my dad and my mom were having a conversation. And dad was like, well, he doing this, he doing that, or whatever. Which may or may not have been true. But I guess my mother's response was, well, if I ask him, he will tell me the truth. I know that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been out of, like, line and come up with stories and playing the blame or shifting blame and all that. Nah, I did it. I just don't have the emotional and mental energy and capacity to remember all that stupid stuff. I got a hard enough time remembering all the important stuff that's important to me, you know, taking into account my family and, trying to, operate with some foresight and try to play chess with this demonic matrix I'm in. Because I feel like this. If I'm not in a position, in a multitude of areas for those who have been there for me, who are few and far between, I feel like I failed. I might well just, what good is I'm on the earth? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm selfish as far as my peace, protecting my progress. But I've always been very selfless. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can, I was thinking about this last night too as well. That's what, I guess, peace, it kind of helps you remember stuff. I have endured, for someone who didn't necessarily grow up, you know, in low income environment, or like I was raised with home training and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? I've had a hard life. And I came to that epiphany when I was younger. Like, when I perceived who I'm is around based on school and stuff like that, and the people and, the trajectory that they try to push you in life, I said, man, I'm gonna have a hard life, yo. And good God, I prophesied to my darn self, boy. Yo, I'm surprised I done made it through all the stuff I done made it through intact. Like, I've been to the funny farm a couple times. I've struggled with addiction up until recently, you know what I'm saying? Been in various wild, situationships, relationships, wild homeboy. Like I know a plethora of homeboys I went to school with who are either boated out or in prison. You know what I'm saying? I know a few who kind of, went there, you know what I'm saying? But there ain't a whole lot of them. You know what I'm saying? This is literally like war, yeah. But they got these slow unaliving weapons. You don't perceive, you get, but you're not aware of the programming on her. Like Tupac said, she's a product of the poison. You know what I'm saying? But you don't see that. Nobody teaches you that. The internet wasn't around back then. You know what I'm saying? So you get stuck up in the child support program matrix. You know what I'm saying? Or you want them, good dudes who like, oh, you know what I'm saying, happy wife, happy life type Negroes, and ain't nobody else around tell you nothing. You get your hind parts handed to you. Then you got to get on fight back to not be a shell of your former self. You know what I'm saying? All this inflation out here. They make it real hard to break. Now you break out of the matrix spiritually, mentally, emotionally. But it is hard because, man, oh man, that's what I'm talking about, these deep yearnings and desires to get out the matrix, 9 to 5 culture. You know what I'm saying? Now I see why part of the matrix is reoccurring bills every 30 days. Because you're going to have to keep working to keep paying bills. You know what I'm saying? From what I understand, like, it's not like that. Like in Liberia, I think you pay rent like 6 months to a year. Like, you don't pay it in 6 months, year interval, not every month. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it, if you didn't have to pay bills every month that are super inflated, you could bust some moves. You could do some things that are more conducive to you, whether it be traveling or you had a free time to, delve into like, it's hard to carve out time, you know what I'm saying? In a 24-hour period with the 9 to 5 work culture or just whatever response, always got bills on your mind. And, you know what I'm saying? Trying to perceive things before they happen. You know what I'm saying? So here's where I'm at with it now, right? And I just caught a little clip about, let's say, the quote unquote chosen one superpower. Because I was thinking to myself, like, what am I good at? Like now I went to various, like, skill trade trainings, you know what I mean? But working with my hands don't necessarily come naturally, you know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily entrepreneurial in a sense. I feel like I'm a peddler of good. Like, if I'm just selling you stuff, like, I'd rather be a producer. That's why I need land. I need to produce things that are pertinent to life. Yeah, I can sell you clothes or, a course, but I'm talking about something paramount to survival. You know what I mean? That's why I got into the energy field, figuring at some point they're gonna hack the grid, and I can be a problem solver. Cause I know how to hook up solar, or, you know what I'm saying? Anything that doesn't that all skills that tend to fall back on self-sufficiency. Like, I can provide it for myself or within my grouping of associates and friends outside of how the system is set up. Like, oh, they cut the lights out. Oh, well, I got a generator, I got solar, you know what I'm saying? Oh, they released some new outbreak. The stores are closed. Oh, I got some chickens in the backyard. I've been storing up canned. You see what I'm saying? Technically, the way human beings used to live before we got modernized. You know what I'm saying? That's my ultimate goal, practically, to become as self-sufficient as possible, while simultaneously limiting these satanic influence that attempt to impose themselves physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Yo, I seen some statistics. You'd be surprised how many people on psychotropic medication. I know therapists who take antidepressants. That don't make no sense to me. You can't. Why would I? Why? Again, I always go back to this analogy where, why would I take my car to a mechanic who can't fix his own car? That's why. And I seen a clip from a brother. I think it's Aquarius Wade. He a real intellectual brother though. I like his jump. And he was talking about and the joint I checked out was why he believes therapists or how and I've talked about this on here too, how therapy and the mental health industry as it's currently constructed don't work. It's like modern, it doesn't promote healing and you doing the work and taking the responsibility to heal. He said something that I had said, in which if I'm a therapist, my goal for you to validate my good or how good I am as a therapist is the fact that you come see me and get to a point where you don't need me no more. Just like ultimately my goal as a parent is to position myself as a parent for my child not to be always dependent on me as she grows up. Whether she gets into, various skills without being like boss chicky, or, she gets with a decent dude and that, you know what I'm saying? That's the goal. It never made any sense to me for someone to say, I've been going to therapy for 10 years. And you talking to this person, and you paying this person to talk to them about your problems, and you ain't solved the problem or overcome the problem or came to any semblance of acceptance of your issue in 10 years, that goes back into what I was saying in previous videos about how victimhood has taken, like black politics preaches victimhood. In days of old, we always celebrated the victor, the overcomer, the underdog who rises up. Now everyone's positioned themselves to get attention to be the biggest victim. Case in point, Drake. Don't nothing surprise me no more. But at the same time, I be flabbergasted. Like with my, with my personal situation, what the other party did, I wasn't surprised. But the fact they went to a new level, I was kind of like, wow. Like you'll do anything at this point. Like, yeah, I know you, whatever. But I like to believe you ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? At least in my mind, trying to like, I know it's got to be some goodness in you somewhere. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Right situation, right time, right circumstance. MF do anything and don't care about how they look. They just so emotional and hell bent. See, this is what I talk about, right? And Bully Coon's got this type of trait, whereas though once through whether you did it or the circumstances do it, whatever ego and image they're portraying to people, once a chink is put in that, man, you see them do all type of stuff that reveals other chinks. So, just like no different than the brother who put his gun on people. You know what I'm saying? He feel good, he got his chest out. Yeah, I'm that dude, right? Till somebody turn around and put the gun on him. Now he crying and screaming, and I don't know why. What you mean you don't know why? This man Drake has done all type of dirt. He always smash somebody's wife and flexing. I know dudes and like I grew up like that. Like they can't necessarily, they're not masculine enough to go head up with you or to address you personally. So what they'll do, they'll just try to sleep with your woman. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody you used to deal with and like try to flex on you like that. You know what I'm saying? But now this man has just gone, he's suing dudes over rap battle and shooting himself in the foot. Hop and Bob did that at the job when I dealt with the woman he used to deal with. He just started acting a fool, unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? Like the image is blown away. So when the image is blown away, or that false construct they try to attempt to show people, there's nothing left behind it. There's no sound foundation. So that's when you see when they start, just doing whatever, saying whatever, looking like a chimp, and don't care how they look. They're hurt. Goes back to, hurt people hurt people. But I was thinking about, like, what am I good at, back to that, and my superpower and whatnot. And this is the space I'm in too, right? Which it don't seem like a superpower, but it is. And I got a case study personally from my time at the job. If you subscribe to my content, one of your superpowers is your intuition, your spidey sense. Like my man, think of man's Templar. If you've lived a certain, or just went through life experience as a black man, or whatever man, especially once you get about 30, 35, 40, and you've been playing, you're a veteran, you're an OG in the game, you should be able to feel events churning around you. No different than the goose or the duck who just feels it's time to fly south for the winter. Nobody got to tell them that. They can feel when it's time to do certain stuff. Just like I'm going through this battle, right? Mentally, okay, you need to do this. You need to check on this. You need to make this happen, right? But my intuition say, you all right. Wait it out. You see what I'm saying? So then you had that battle between your mind and your intuition. Because outwardly, it looked like you need to bust a move. I've actually gotten more done by not doing nothing or letting things come to me. Like my dad had this analogy. He was talking about dating. He said, eventually, as long as you in the infield, eventually the ground ball come to you. Just make sure you got your glove ready. You see what I'm saying? Like when I tried to scramble and, like Lamar Jackson and like grind in that sense, it never worked. And I didn't hit or didn't produce the outcome I wanted. But when I kind of fell back and kind of, glided with it, I got more done and I was more efficient. You know what I'm saying? And whenever, my first master sensei, Woody Curry, would tell me this: you may not know what to do, but you'll know what to do when the time comes. Or if you got a problem, you don't know how to solve it. I've solved problems, not by actually solving the problem, but by doing something totally unrelated, and the answer just came to me. Oh yeah, I can do that. That wasn't even all that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just sticking to the script. Even if everything outwardly shows, or it might seem like whatever, trust your instinct, trust your intuition. Looking back over life, it done jacked me up when I didn't listen to it. Something say like, nah, I don't go, and I go over there. Now I got some grace and mercy. But I'm like, and here's what happens too, right, in the Matrix, where that's why I think protecting your peace and all that. Because if you're around people, they'll try to, I guess this is like a gaslighting tactic, where they'll try to convince you that what you know isn't what you think it is. You see what I'm saying? Like, relationship, and then, she'll constantly like accuse you of cheating or whatever. Then you're like, man, she must be doing it. But you see all these signs of her being, an infidelity. Maybe not outright, but you see all the where the smoke is afar. So you see all of it. But she'll convince you what you're saying isn't leading to what the end goal is. You know what I'm saying? And then have you overthinking and confusing yourself. Not because they produced evidence to the contrary. They just keep saying it to get you to believe that what you believe isn't true, even though you see it. It's clear as day to you. One of them, what's that? One of them old movies where it said, "Who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes?" That's why I like people insulting my intelligence. Just like at the job when I left twice, that was based on intuition. Now my mind say, "Bills, you need to stay here." You know what I'm saying? Woo woo woo. My spider sense like, man, it's time to go ahead, bounce on them again, cause ran off on the employer twice. They said they call and I ain't calling back. And then in my departure both times, it got even exponentially worse from the stories that I was hearing from valid sources. I'm not going to be a part of that. And then what'll happen is, if you're around a whole bunch of tomfoolery and don't get out of Dodge, eventually it's going to negatively affect you, or they're going to try to put you in Charlotte with, and then you'll become the focal point, not the tomfoolery. Like even in my personal situation, they'll remind me of stuff that never happened, so that we can never address what is happening. You see what I'm saying? A whole bunch of deflection and, you know what I mean? So my spidey sense, my intuition, that's God given, just say, be easy, water, you know what I mean? Like live like the word, you know what I'm saying? And that's me practicing active faith. Because let's be honest, for what we know is coming to the best of our ability, you still can't outsmart it. You still can't prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess stockpile food. But I live by the water. So let's say there's a flood, food gone. Then what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can prepare to the best of your ability, but there's no way to foresee all the nuances. And you know what I'm saying? Let's say they drop one of them mushroom cloud bombs. There's no way to prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? You just deal with it when it happens. Being adaptive, and you know what I'm saying? Being like water, if you will. Not, and that was one of my things too. I used to be real rigid. Like, I used to be super disciplined, or but I couldn't stop and smell the fly. So I get stuff done. I just get it done in my time. That's another reason why, unless the work is I can't really work a 9 to 5 job because it's too rigid. I need my flow, Joe. You know what I'm saying? I need to make time to watch my content on YouTube that's been uh very instrumental along my journey. I need time to exercise. I need time to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that works for me. It might not work for nobody else, but I understand what works for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't do well being put in boxes and being robotic. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them free-spirited, loose Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like driving to the beach, and I don't want to have to call nobody and ask them, can I do that? Now, granted, everybody got their own situation, but I kind of tried to set my life up for nobody to really be an authority over me. And if they are, and they try to impose it in a way that's outside of my principle, I can walk away without second thought. Now, once I walk away, that's it. But I will review it, be like, did I make the right decision? You know what I'm saying? But my spirit don't feel no type of way. Just like when I had the situation with my daughter, my spirit felt bad. I couldn't sleep. I had to go apologize. You know what I'm saying? I do tend to overthink. And I am kind of extreme. Typically, I'm on one side of the fence or other. So with the overthinking, I do that now because I used to not think at all. I used to just be, impulsive or reactive. You know what I'm saying? Then I think about it later. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll get better at that along the journey. But just a little Saturday content for y'all. I'm almost at a half hour. I ain't gonna hold y'all up, man. Happy Sabbath, y'all. Ooh, ah!